Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mavero Adafnome Winifred. I represent Afi Mountain. The attire which I'm wearing is a Benin attire, which represents royalty, culture, and tradition of the Benin people. This attire is mostly worn by the king's wives and also by young maidens during their traditional wedding. Thank you very much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Constance Chima Okonkwo and I represent African Club. This graceful attire I'm wearing is a traditional attire worn by the princess of the Igbo culture. It can be worn during festivals like the Iriji Festival, which is the New Yam Festival, and the Maun Festival, which is known as the Masquerade Festival. It can also be worn during traditional marriage and coronation ceremonies. Thank you.
Good evening, Your Excellencies. Good evening, beautiful people. My name is Chinaya Irala, and I represent Abokum Wara Falls. This beautiful attire that I'm wearing, it's worn by a royal princess in the Igbo land. The green and the white color on my attire depicts one Nigeria. The beads on my head, my hands, and my legs are for beautification. The egg inside the calabash on my left hand is the egg the princess presents to the husband and his people. And this is a sign of her fertility. The staff on my hand is a staff of honor, dignity, and power. This whole attire complements everything that I am. Beauty, excellence, and royalty. Thank you.
Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daniela Emaimoke and I represent Alok Monoliths. I'm displaying a costume that is worn mostly by the Yakor people of Cross River State. They wear this costume basically during their New Year festival. The attire I'm wearing was designed by me. I decided to use fresh mango leaves to signify how beautiful and how loving nature is. The epanse on my hand signifies royalty, and the Angelicandase on my head signifies the status of the maiden. I'm putting on one because I'm still single. Thank you.
Bonsoir, monsieur, mademoiselle, et madame. Good evening, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chioma Grace Mwafo, and I represent Aqua Vista. The beaded cap you can see on my head is a sign of authority. It's my crown. I wear it whenever I am going for coronations such as festivals, traditional marriages, and occasions such as this. The blouse I'm wearing is called kappa. It's worn by dignitaries and honorable women. My staff is a staff of authority. I carry it whenever I'm on duty. Thank you.
ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ekomobong Dosen, and I represent Bakassi. The lovely attire I'm wearing is usually worn by the maidens of the Igbo land. The beads on my head, shoulder, waist, wrist, and ankle is just to show the world how beautiful I am and to tell them I'm single. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome group number 2.
Gentlemen, my name is Sakon Roland Bono and I represent Boki Rainforest. This beautiful attire I'm wearing is the traditional attire worn by a newly wedded bride in Rivers State. My beads complement and beautify my outfit. My hostel and the hat make me royalty and show that I am wealthy. This beautiful attire can be worn by a princess on her coronation or when she's getting married. Thank you.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Emo Adoga and I represent Botanical Gardens. I'm modeling a costume I designed by myself, and it was inspired by Nigeria's rich agricultural heritage. And I'm also wearing coral beads, which is a symbol of our royalty and wealth. Thank you very much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Wendy Ebubedike. I'm from Anambra State. I represent Brickfield. I'm wearing an Igbo attire. This is calabash. It's used to store palm wine and is used in traditional marriages in Igbo land. My bangle, my necklace, my crown, and my earring represent the creativity of the Igbos. My leaf represents the rich agricultural farmland of Nigeria. Our land is green and beautiful.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Your Excellency, and respected ladies and gentlemen. My name is Onua Judith. I'm from Imo State, and I represent Creektown. The outfit I'm on is known as Money Kim. This outfit is from where I'm just coming from where I was. This is known as
My name is Dimoke Christiana. I'm from Anambra State and I represent Cultural Center. This costume that I'm putting on is worn by the Fulani-speaking people. The calabash that I carry is called Kwaria Nunu. It's used to give milk to the groom. The blouse and the wrapper that I tie is called Zeni Deriga. And the lovely beads that adorn my waist, it's called Jigida. This attire is worn during traditional wedding ceremony. Thank you. Nangode.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ujung Amanda Omudilo. I'm from Imo State and I represent Dream Century. I'm dressed in a costume of an Igbo princess, endowed with silver and gold designed crown. My neck bead is made from woods and stones, while my beautiful coral neck signifies my royalty as a princess. My lovely flowing gown is made from Dymac designers. And my hostel and my handpiece signifies my royalty as an Igbo princess. Thank you.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we now present Group 3.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm Eni Esther and I represent Duketown. The beautiful costume I'm wearing is George and a blouse. This attire is worn by the maidens of Patani area of Bayelsa State, known as Omboze Okoli. They wear this to show sign of maturity. The George on my shoulder signifies maturity. The handkerchief on my waist signifies peace. The beads on my knee and my ankle signifies peace. Thank you very much.
Good evening to you, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ogechi Analiefo. I'm from Anambra State and I represent Ejali. The costume I have on is called Ofonkodawan. It's a traditional attire worn by the Efik maidens of Cross River State. This attire can be worn to coronation ceremonies, traditional marriages, and when welcoming an important guest. This hairstyle with the many combs arranged this way is called etingi. The adornment on my hands is called ekpaku, and it adds beauty to the costume. The adornment on my legs is called nkparetum, and it gives rhythm during the movements of dance. The staff I have in my hand is called esangubong, and it represents respect and power. Thank you.
Good evening, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Queen Celestine. I'm from Cross River State, and I represent Ayo Honesty. The attire I'm wearing is an attire worn by princesses in the Obodo Queen's kingdom. In the ancient days, there was nothing like clothes or fabrics, so the raffia was gotten from palm to be worn and colored to make it more beautiful. The spikes is gotten from porcupines. It's used to make hair in the olden days and style your hair. The cowries is used for money as exchange. Thank you. And the calabash is to see clearly because there was nothing like electricity. Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, my name is DJ Sophia Chidima. I am from Anambra State and I represent Hopodo. The costume I have on is a costume worn by the Adadama people of Abi local government area in Cross River State. The cowries I have on my head represents wealth. The beads on my waist, which is called Aziza, represents virginity. The bangles on my leg is called Ekwan, and it represents humility. The staff I have on my hand is called Evesem, and it represents authority. Thank you.
Good evening, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sarah Emmanuel Eten. I represent Kwa Falls. This beautiful attire on me here is called the Lebaku Festive attire. It is worn by the maidens during the celebration of the New Yam Festival. This on my head is called the peacock feathers. It signifies beauty. The beads on my neck and my waist are for adornment. The beads on my waist is popularly known as the jigida. It signifies purity, virginity, pride of a womanhood. This on my hand is called the epamse. It signifies authority. The gold bracelet on my leg is called the limen. It was used as a means of exchange during the ancient days. It produces an appealing sound while dancing. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dauda Beki Zainab, and I'm from Kaduna State. Tonight, I'm wearing an epic outfit, which is known as the Onyonyo gown. This gown is worn during traditional marriage, coronation of Obang of Calabar, and chieftaincy ceremony. It symbolifies beauty and royalty. This bead on my neck is called Eme. This bead represents beauty and also royalty. The hair I'm carrying with the glamorous and beautiful combs on it is called Edisat. This staff I am holding, the staff of authority, the staff of power and honor is called Esang. Thank you very much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on stage group number 4.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Owakwa Amarachi. I'm from Imo State, and I represent Marina Resort. This beautiful attire that I have on is usually worn by a princess in Igbo land. The half-beaded top and the long-tailed skirt I'm putting on represents royalty. The hostel on my hand represents authority, and the beads on my ear, my neck, my wrist, and my legs are for beautification. Thank you.
Good evening, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ipeme Anita John. I'm from Mudupani local government area of Cross River State, and I represent Millennium Park. My costume tonight is an Efik costume worn by the Efik women for traditional marriages, coronations, and chieftaincy title ceremonies. It represents and signifies wealth, honor, comfort, respect, and authority. Thank you very much.
Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bang Agnes Onun from Yoka local government area of Cross River State, and I represent Mary's Liaison. The beautiful attire I'm wearing is used by the Efik dancers. This staff I'm holding on my hand signifies authority. The bead on my legs signifies royalty. The beautiful combs, silver combs on my hair represents royalty and honor. The bead on my neck is called Efigapat. It represents honor. This wonderful attire I'm putting on can be used for traditional dances, chieftaincy occasion, and traditional marriages. Thank you.
Good evening, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Liliana Izimardica Martins. I'm from Anambra State, and I represent Nkarasi Monoliths. I'm here to showcase the Igbo tradition, which is only worn by the maidens. The beads on my body is called Mbanja. Mbanja Ishi, Mbanja Olu, Mbanja Aka. The one on my waist is called the Jigida, which shows easy movement and shows maturity. The George on my body is called the Ojimba George, and the one on my leg is called the Jerry. You can only wear this on special occasions in the Igbo land like New Yam Festival. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nancy Regina Ikechi, and I'm representing Urban Hills. Igbo Kwenu, Kwenu, Kwezono. This is the attire of a typical Abian maiden The top is made from the skin of a young female lion, and it represents the protection of my virginity and the strength that I have as a woman. The down is made from a handmade material by the women of Akwete, and it signifies women empowerment and struggle for survival. Thank you.
Gentlemen, my name is Phoebe Ugwozo. I'm from Enugu State and I represent Obudu Hills. I am wearing a complete Efik costume. It is called Ofonkodoman. It is worn in ceremonies by female traditional dancers of Efik. It is worn in festivals and traditional marriages. On my leg is what we call Mparetum, whose bells add to the rhythm of the dancers. On my waist is a tie which gives freedom and makes and covers the nakedness of the maiden. On my hand is a staff called Esang, which signifies authority, and this is called Ananuba Unkwa. On my neck you see what we call Unkwa Esiritong. On my hands is Ekbakubo, and on my hair is what you've seen. It is specially crafted with gold, which means royalty. Thank you very much.
We now present to you group number 5.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Winifred Ewakaboko. I'm representing Old Residency. This gorgeous attire I'm wearing is a Benin attire. On my head is a crown, which represents royalty. My neck, my wrist, and my ankle are adorned with coral beads called the Uvier, and is a sign of glamour. I have a red wrapper tied around my chest, and in my 2 hands is a white handkerchief, which represents peace. This attire can be worn during marriages and burials. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ezugu Lois Adeze. This beautiful costume I'm wearing, it's called a judge, adorned with lace, coral beads, and the marks. It's usually worn by the Southerners and Easterners for ceremonies like traditional marriages and festivals. It signifies royalty and prestige. Thank you.
Everyone, my name is Ode Patience. I'm from Cross River State and I represent Peace Park. I'm dressed in Iwali attire. Iwali is a dance group in Bekra local government area. The hostel I'm holding on my hand is called Uturukpa, and only the dance leader is permitted to hold this on her hand. The beads on my waist are called Ijigida, and only the dance leader is permitted to wear more than 5 Ijigida on her waist. The wrapper on my waist and my shirts are called Igbagiri. The shells on my leg are called Uturukpa, and the chalk on my body is called Oshang. Thank you.
Good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Josephine Obama. I'm from Cross River State, and I represent Reform Lake. The attire I'm wearing is an attire worn by the Yako people of Cross River State. And this attire is worn by beautiful maidens, especially after the Leboku festival, to thank God for a bountiful harvest. On my hand is a horsetail called Epamse, and it represents strength. On my head are cowries called Asawa, and it represents wealth. My blouse is called Ewura, while my wrapper is called Eko. And then my beads are for beautification, and the sashes around my chest are to show that I am a princess and I am royalty. On my leg are rattles, and they are called Oti. Thank you.
Excellencies, the honorable panel of judges, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Anebiet Ebo, and I represent Tinapa. The gorgeous traditional attire I'm wearing is an Efik attire, and it's called Onyonyo. The purple color of this attire signifies royalty. This attire is usually worn by the Efik women during traditional marriage or festival. The royal traditional hair on my head is called Etenge, and the combs are called Edisat Okwak. The glorious staff on my hand is called Esangubong, is a symbol of authority, power, and royalty. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adeyemi Zuliat Abiola. I'm from Kwara State, and I represent WAPI. The costume I'm modeling tonight is a George, adorned with beads. The beads on my costume represent royalty, dignity, honor, pride, and beauty. The handkerchief on my hands represents peace. My costume is mostly worn by the Niger Delta people during traditional events and festivals. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for all those wonderful ladies in the beautiful cultural outfits. It certainly is about preserving our culture for generations.